Welcome to this Yogic Mindfulness guided flower vision meditation for choiceless awareness of the movements of consciousness. Allow yourself to move into a comfortable position, either sitting down or laying flat on your back. You can close your eyes if you wish, or maintain a soft gaze towards the ground. Choiceless awareness is when one is watching something without intention, judgment, choice, or any analysis. This sort of attentiveness usually comes about naturally when one is initially observing a beautiful flower. If one looks at the events of the day and their own reactions to those events as they are occurring, in the way one would look at a flower, one is then allowing themselves to be free to look without being directed by confusion, which we are struggling with knowingly and unknowingly. We're going to see right now if we can observe the movements of our consciousness without analyzing what we observe or separating the observer from the observed. This is not a method of looking, but looking itself without being directed by distortion as it usually is. This guided meditation is just a series of presented stimuli that one can look at and perhaps learn something about themselves along the way. First, invite your attention to your breath and notice how it feels to breathe in slowly and out comfortably. As you slowly begin to deepen your breath, feel yourself drifting away from the mechanical chattering that your brain is usually engaging in, and sink into the present moment. Be attentive of how it feels to breathe. Breathing in, the chest expanding. Breathing out, relaxing. Now, see if you can visualize in your mind's eye a flower. It can be any type of flower. Perhaps you are envisioning your favorite flower or a flower that you have seen recently. Perhaps the flower that emerged from your subconscious is one that you did not expect to see. Notice the color, shape of the petals, the stem and leaves. Perhaps you can almost smell it. Take a moment to sit with your flower. If you notice your mind wandering to other things, be appreciative that you notice this wandering. See what it has wandered to, then invite your attention to come back to the flower. Perhaps as you breathe in, you can imagine the scent of the flower filling your nose. Savor that perfume. As you breathe out, you may notice the petals sway and flow in the path of your out-breath. See how there is nothing wrong with your flower. It is just existing beautifully in your mind. You may never see this flower you have conjured ever again. Appreciate the whole of its existence just by seeing it and not wasting any attention away from looking at it. Notice how it is to observe a flower. Do you get the sense that you are an observer separate from your flower? Or is there, in that experience of watching it be, no separation from the observer and the observed? Is there, in that looking, just the observation itself. Notice any other qualities that are inherent in looking at a flower. Now, let your flower fade away and see in your mind that you are walking along a path in the woods. Perhaps there are trees all around you, birds singing above, and the earthy smells of fresh dew in the air. Perhaps there is a stream nearby. See if you can imagine yourself walking along this path peacefully. Maybe you can almost feel the earth underneath each of your steps. Breathing in the beauty of the nature around you. Breathing out anything that is preventing you from being present with that beauty. As you walk along, you see your flower quietly existing on the side of the path you are walking along. You bend over and look closer at it. See it silently growing. Notice how you look at it. See how one views a flower. Be present with your observations of the way your awareness is attentive of the flower. Can this same quality of looking be applied to how you view the flower? Can you view the way in which you look as you were looking at a flower? Can you see your looking with this flower vision? Breathe and watch the truly miraculous movements of the extraordinary human consciousness and its ability to look. See your looking now as one would view a flower quietly growing on the side of the path. See if you can now observe sadness inside of you. Perhaps you can recall something that has happened recently or in the past that has influenced sadness to arise from within you. Or you can sense some sadness deep inside of you from an unknown source. Although this may be uncomfortable, see if you can watch this sadness arise right now as you remember the triggering event, or simply come into the sadness. Now that you have sadness, or perhaps some other negative emotion or thought present with you now, see if you can observe it as you observe the flower. See if you can observe emotion and negative thoughts, which are movements of the complex human consciousness, as you would look at a beautiful flower. See that you are not separate from this negative emotion or thought. Just like as when you observe the flower, one may briefly forget the usually present assumption that you are separate from the observation. Watch the movement of sadness, or whatever negative reaction has come about within you, as one would look at a flower quietly living. Maybe you can see the roots of the flower. That is negative emotion, negative thought. See the roots of the flower. One may also do this when they explore other functions of the mind. When you think of or interact with your mother, friend, or significant other, are you actually seeing them, or are you referring to an image your mind has made about them? Has the image you have about another person ever affected how you interacted with them? Look at these questions while maintaining this flower vision we have been practicing. Do not judge yourself or the image-making process that may have caused some issues in the past. Do not have any intention to stop the image-making process, but simply look at this process and how it has affected your relationships and daily life. See this process as a beautiful flower in your mind that has been causing some conflict. Maybe you can see the roots of this flower as well. When you think of yourself, are you thinking of the real you in actuality, or the image you have created about yourself? Did the image you have about yourself ever interfere with how you interact with others or how you think about yourself? When someone calls you an insulting name or assumes you are a certain way, does this action actually hurt you or disrupt the image you have about yourself? Does the image-making process ever prevent you from truly seeing or loving yourself or another? As long as you look through these mental representations in your mind that are constructed using the particular qualities of your mind that have been developed through your experiences, are you ever truly seeing another? Can one love while using the image-making process, or are they only ever seeing the image? Does the image-making process stop when you are using flower vision? Do you impose an image upon the flower, or does the image you have about yourself affect your seeing the beauty when you are really looking at the flower before any thought comes in and analyzes it? How do you know when you are truly seeing something or someone? How do you know when you are truly listening? When you are thinking about this or that, are you really listening to what is happening around you? When you have a certain belief or preconception before you look at something, are you seeing the thing clearly? Or are you only seeing what your conceptions allow you to see or cause you to imagine? When you go through the same old patterns of your life, acting from a state of inattention, which may be causing some conflict or distress in your daily life, is this acting a wastage of energy? When one is acting from awareness, are those actions still wasting as much energy, if wasting energy at all? What is the purpose of thinking? Is it to find security in the conclusions that come from it? Why are we not psychologically secure? Are you free to answer any of these questions when you are desiring an answer for them? Are you able to look at these posed questions as one would look at a flower? Or is analysis and judgment of oneself or the guide preventing flower vision from remaining? It may be useful to notice which questions prevent flower vision from remaining. It may show you particulars about the roots of the flowers in your mind. Is analysis ever free to explore if it is conditioned to move in a certain way based on what you have been taught or experienced in the past, which may be very limited? What is the most important or useful thing to look at using flower vision? To improve how we act in daily life, if we use thought or previous methods which haven't worked, will it eventually work? Or if we understood ourselves on a deeper level, would that help us act according to what is, instead of being unaware of the ways we twist what we are exposed to? When we want to become something that we are not, are we still free? Does a mind that sees choose, or does a mind that sees act upon what is without choosing? When we always look at fragments or parts of things instead of the whole, are we even seeing? What are we afraid of? What prevents us from being determined to figure out the answers to the pain and conflict in our lives? Are you maintaining the flower vision? Can you look at a person in your life without the image the next time you see them? Can you see them as if you are seeing them for the first time without the past distorting your interaction presently? Can you look at that person you wish to have a healthy relationship with as one would look at a flower? Can you deeply listen to their words as if the words are a flower? Can you deeply listen to this person in your life, a human in the world that wishes to speak to you? How can we begin to mend relationships, look past the images, and see the human right before us and all they are attempting to communicate? Can we use this flower vision to begin to explore our own inner workings of our mind in order to see and truly understand ourselves and solve all of the conflict in our minds and relationships? Can we see the roots to all of the flowers that are affecting our consciousness? See if you can look now at the roots of these flowers. As this flower vision meditation comes to an end, take the time to appreciate the potential of this practice to increase your sense of awareness of the self and ability to be present with those in our lives. Slowly begin to return to your body, perhaps inviting some movement into the fingers and face. As you softly open your eyes, notice the movement of your own breath as a flower that is always present for us to appreciate. See if, throughout the rest of your day, you can view the movements of yourself and those around you as a garden of flowers forever blooming along the path of life.